What is going on, guys? I wanted to just dabble into this little update here. I'm not going to really speak too much on everything in here because I'll be honest, most of it I don't give a damn about. Like, come on, Melissa? What? Hello? I actually think she's okay. I think they're funny that with the way that they changed her. So pretty much her S3 dispels first, then attacks. So your ass ain't safe no more, which is pretty interesting if you think about it. So she pretty much will take all the debuffs away from the, take all the buffs away from the characters first, and then S3 them, giving her a higher chance of landing the curse. But I don't know. I always felt that the curse was like kind of wacky. It was like kind of a wacky thing. I think it would be nice if it's something that automatically went onto the unit on the enemy, regardless of whether or not, you know, they have effective resist. The only way that they can get around it is if they have like immunity. I think that that's how they should have changed it. So it's like a buff, like similar to like a self buff, like Mind's Eye, you know, Ken's buff. I think that's what they should have did. That would have probably made it a lot better, so you didn't have to worry about effectiveness. That she automatically did that. You just worry about crit and attack and crit damage, and you would have been fine. I do like that her S2 reset when it kills, so you can kind of keep spamming it as long as you're hitting low health targets or low HP in general targets. So I feel like that's okay. So I wanted to talk about her briefly. This is CC's. Her S3 now gains immunity, 2-turn immunity. That's pretty good. She actually, if I remember correctly, has decent speed, so that's gonna be nice. Everything else I don't really care too much about. Like this is what her S2. Yeah, her S2 gets a little bit better. Cool, who cares? Everything is about CC is about her S3, and then if you wanted to put her on a counter or like Elberus build, you can have her S1 and then do the defense breaks, but no one's really caring. Anyway, then you get Tenebria, which is really cool that they just keep buffing her, so whatever. I think it is funny though that you know, they just keep buffing her over and over and over again, and I think it's nice, I guess. I don't know. No one really uses her. I feel like they're trying to buff her to be usable, but I feel like she's still not there yet. And if they want to keep buffing her to make her that way, then that's fine and dandy. Next up, Spectre's Tenebria buff is funny as hell. You can't trigger a counterattack on her S1, so that makes her really good for like Champion Zerato, who's coming out here out the woodworks. And if she uses Endless Nightmare, which I'm pretty sure is her S3, if it is on cooldown, she will attack 2 enemies, able to spread the poison out more consistently to multiple targets, and they can't counterattack over it, which is awesome. Which is also good because I don't know if you guys know, you've probably seen it in the game before, is that sometimes your character gets brought into a dual attack and then they trigger the counter. So it's really good that they can't trigger a counter at all on her S1. So it makes her really strong, allows her to be played, you know, obviously really well, and I think that it adds a little bit more utility to a Moonlight Nat 5, and I think most people are happy with that because they want their Moonlight Nat 5s to really feel like they're strong as hell and they were worth the money or the luck that they got it for. I'm not gonna read this one, trash. You're not gonna use Rose, you're not gonna use Clarissa, you're not gonna use this guy either, though it is nice that he has a defense break. I think that's his S3 if I'm not mistaken, or a 2-turn defense break, but you're still not using them. So yeah, this one, Fighter Maya, I've seen a couple people that were like kind of having questions about it, like whether or not it's good or not. For a person that's used Fighter Maya and also a person that's watched YDCB's Fighter Maya videos, I would say that you definitely most of the time don't need the soul burn. If anything, if they really wanted to make it stupid ridiculous, they would have upped the limit. So instead of 30%, maybe it's 40% or maybe even 50% HP, which would have been too much. But that is the hardest thing in my opinion about her. But if they're in that 30%, you're knocking someone out of the park regardless. So I like that it just gains the ability that you get an extra turn, which allows you to snipe a low health target and then S1 provoke, which also got buffed to 75% chance. And then you can soul burn it if you want it to have a 100% chance to provoke. They have to pass the effect resistance. So I think that that's absolutely perfect. I don't see where the issue is with that. I don't know. I don't know. Don't talk to me about it. But if you use Fire Mire, the hardest thing is to get to the 30%, and that thing does a ridiculous amount of damage. I don't think you need the soul burn half the time anyway. And I think if you read through this, that they're buffing the damage of it anyway. So even better. It makes it even like you don't even have to soul burn for it anyway, and you can get a free turn. Celestial Mercedes, you're not picking her. I mean, the same thing you were doing before is the same thing you were doing anyway. So our S3, they just took the Soul Burn ability off of the S3 and they put it onto the S2. Nothing else changes about it, so that's whatever. Doris, you're not picking her, it's fine. Breckenmore, you're not picking her, it's fine. Now, Holy Sacrifice, I'm gonna speak on it real quick and I'm gonna come back to it when we talk about Charlotte, which is what the whole video is about anyway. But this combo is pretty much for Charlotte, and if you guys go back to my Charlotte guide, you will see that I spoke about this before, is that Holy Sacrifice actually brings Charlotte back with her focus. So that was kind of like the cool little combo that she had, is that, you know, you can come back and you'd come back with all your focus, and no other character has a ability like that because Holy Sacrifice is only for knights. So it's really cool that she can come back with her bar or whatever like that. I think you see it if you have other characters that revive, like if you have a Ruel, if you have what is it, Akantes, I think she revives as well, and Maid Chloe, that they usually come back with their bar. So this is a nice way that you can pretty much play her and still be aggressive. I'll still do a guide. I still need to do a guide. Do you guys, who do you want for? I'll actually do an ML Soaring guide. Don't you tempt me right now. You guys let me know in the comments section the next guide I should do. I haven't done one in a while. I always feel bad because I don't have the units and stuff. The Shimada Shaft is nice, but I still feel like you're not going to use it. It is a nice buff thing here, though. Effect resistance. Everyone gets a free 20%. And I guess it's 20%. Oh, and this stays the same, but the healing thing still goes up. But yeah, no one cares. This is nice though, effective resistance. It makes me wonder, the ones that are free, like the 4-star ones that are common, I could have swore that they have one like this. I wonder if they stack. They should stack, right? Yeah, no, healing is done. So you can stack this with, hold on, I'll go in game. If you have Rainbow Scale, this is the one I was looking for, Rainbow Scale, and 10% on top of it. So that's 30% free ER if you have that. If you're really trying to run a team you don't want debuffs on, I feel like that's pretty legit in my opinion. And let's say you have a warrior in there, and then you have the Strock Gauntlet. So he has this person has 60 ER, right? And then a 20 free from the healer that also gets a healing boost. I think that's actually pretty strong. I think it's pretty strong. I would be interested if someone picks up the tech on that and has a warrior in the mix that pretty much has 80% effect resistance for free. See, y'all don't think I know all the tech, man. Yeah, I don't think I know about all the tech, man, but I actually do. I know a lot. I know a lot. Uber's Tooth, I think, yeah, it's taking the ability for the crit. You don't have to crit anymore, but instead now you can just, it will just trigger. Especially if it's maxed out, it will just trigger, which is nice. Whatever. This is a nice little buff here. So you get a barrier when you use a non-attack skill, and you get the damage increases. Really good for Vivian. Obviously, that's kind of what it was about, but that's really cool. So you S2 with Vivian, and then the S3 with Vivian, and the S2 should pretty much clean out. I feel like if you do that, I'd have to go back and see. We should do like a go back and maybe look at all these and see who benefits from it the most. But anyway, we're gonna go with Charlotte, and I'm probably gonna title this video really like rudely, because it's funny when I do that and then people are like, no, it's not. Because I said, who did I say was trash? I said someone was trash and you know it, and then people got so butthurt. It was funny. So they're taking out the focus mechanic. So if I was trying to read through here, like the previous skills, like if you look at the previous skills here, dual swords, ground slam, and then the vortex. Now we knew it was based on focus, but I guess I was trying to find out how focus worked again. I think that you gain, oh yeah, you just acquired it. So this one, the S2 gave you 2 focus, this one gave you 1, and this one gave you more combat readiness, as you can read here, depending on how many people were stunned, but it's only a 35% chance, so it's not consistent enough. Now they pretty much took this out. They took the focus out, and they put fighting spirit. Now the weird thing that I think that I found was weird about this, and I just talked in a circle, but Ken had fighting spirit from before, and his main issue, and I think the same thing with Ravi, they did it like, or was it Apocalypse Ravi? These characters that have these scaling from 0 to 100 to do something. Ravi, I think she can do her S3 at 75% or something of that nature. They had these like characters, and the common issue with them has always been that it just still takes too long for it to activate. So I'm just gonna skim through here. So when you use the S1, you're getting 20, right? Oh, here it is. So when attacked during the caster's turn, fighting spirit is doubled, and it just gives her an attack buff and a defense buff when she gets attacked. So the first attack could take her out completely. But the second attack you should have a defense buff there, unless you are unbuffable, as you guys should know. So that's pretty cool. The increased attack and defense can only be triggered once per turn. So if you get attacked and then it gets stripped, then oh well, you're gonna have to wait until she gets a turn in order for her to, you know, benefit off of this. You know, so she doesn't have any combat readiness pushes. No, she does. I'm sorry. When she does the, yeah, here we go. When she does the AoE attack, I am sorry. It's funny that if you read through some of the reasons why they were changing her, they're saying that it's too difficult in order for you to make her work, right? It was like too much loops and holes. You know, attack buff if she's above 50% health, and defense break if they're below is like, you know, not if she is, if the enemy is right here. You can see it right there. So now instead it consistently does an attack break. Instead, it will always do an attack break. If she is buffed and it's her turn, the attack will hit everyone, pretty much doing an AoE attack break for 50% if you have it maxed out, and giving her a combat readiness push of 20%. Now that is only if it's on her turn. So boom, I know, again, I feel like, I don't know why they're being so tame with some of these skills, and I don't know, it's weird. And this skill cannot trigger a dual attack. I'm assuming only the AoE portion cannot trigger a dual attack. I think that that's meant purposely. Same thing with Kayron. He can't dual attack if he has a buff, you know, same thing like that. So it is effectively like Kayron. I guess that would be another way of thinking about it. It's like Kayron, AoE attack break. Kayron does AoE hit chance. Sometimes I feel like that's a little bit better because so you can't get debuffed. And she's getting a 20% combat readiness push. Right, so that's cool and all. She's gonna get 20% for 20 fighting spirit. If you decide to go on counter, yes, she can actually stack it up a little bit quicker. Now she only needs 100. This gives 20 if she gets counter attacked. So in hindsight, you know, if she gets counter attacked by 2 characters, I'm assuming she's getting 80 fighting spirit, right? 80 fighting spirit. So let's say you put her into a AoE comp, which that's duh. You're not gonna put her into a comp where she can avoid damage. Or if you're trying to bait the AI, you see that they have a water attacker, like, I don't know, Seaside Bologna, and you're trying to bait her, right? And you make sure that everyone else is whatever, and then she's the only fire in there. 20 when she gets attacked in general, right? When attacked during the caster's turn, it's doubled. But let's say, you know, in the common state of things, Seaside Bologna and Charles come back, or it doesn't have to necessarily be Charles. It could actually be Seaside Bologna and anyone has Elbrus. It's usually going to be Charles. It could be Fallen Cecilia, you know, whatever. A knight that's in the team might do that. So that is a lot, you know. That's 20 doubled, that's 40, and then another 40, that's 80. So in that scenario, she actually will be almost ready to go, and that's off her first turn. Her base speed is 99. So when we're thinking about her going first or anything like that, it's unlikely. So she's gonna get hit by something, depending on, like, again, what team comp you put her against. If she attacks and she triggers, which is Charles, on her turn, she's good to go. The issue that I do still have with it, and why I think she's still trash, is that I feel like she'll just be dead by then. The defense buff is nice, but if, you know, even let's say if Seaside Bologna is there, she's gonna go first most likely than her. She's gonna S3, she's gonna make her unbuffable, and then she's not gonna have the defense buff, and she's gonna take all the brunt of those attacks. I think what they did was nice and all, but Seaside Bologna is her main thing. So what, are you gonna say Vildred? So if Vildred goes out there, Vildred is gonna S3, and guess what Vildred's S3 does? It puts hit chance against on you. And I think that again is just like, I don't know. I mean, because you're gonna run her with, like, what, her, Elena, most likely, you know, to decrease how much damage she's taking. If it's an AoE attack, she still takes the AoE attack. You know, all this other stuff, you have to hope that they counter to accelerate the fact that you can do this. The S3 is nice. It does auto crit now. Successful attack, they had to make sure that they said that, because that means, like, she can still miss. Again, Age Vildred is kind of still an issue. It consumes all of the fighting spirit, but it does have no cooldown. And as you can see here, the soul burn for only 10 souls, which is pretty cheap, that she can do it again and again and again and again and again, as long as she has all those conditions met. So I just curious, what do you guys think? Do you think that it's viable to happen? You're gonna pick her into Seaside Bologna and Charles. That is what you're pretty much saying. Oh, look at these two. The Elbrus can't really control, you know, who is gonna proc on. So Charlotte's in there. She's not gonna get the first turn, right? Seaside Bologna gets the first turn. She S3s. For some reason, you don't get unbuffable, right? So it triggers, or maybe they trigger at the same time. I do not know. But you know, your S2 triggers, you boom have 20. Boom, 20 on the board. and you have a defense break, you're good to go. And you know, whatever your other people go, now it's her turn. So she S1s. That's another 20. Now you're at 40, right? Just this is how it should go. Now, hopefully, now that you hit everyone, Seaside Bologna is 100% triggered, right? So she is going to attack you. Then you're gonna get another 40. So we're gonna go up to 80, right? I'm doing that right. Yeah, right. So you went up. Wait, oh my god, my math is terrible. Rewind it, damn it. All right. Yo, math be fucking me up. Someone's gonna make fun of me so bad on this, right? 20 Seaside Bologna attacks. 20 you attack. Yeah, okay. Now I'm back with the math class. Okay, now you trigger the counter attack. You're gonna get 40 because it's on your turn. So 40 with this is 80. Right? And if Elbrus triggers, you're fine. That is what they want. If Elbrus triggers from the other like knight in there, you will be at 100. And that is within one turn. You then have to survive to your next turn to S3 them. And if enough has gone down, you can soul burn it so you can S3 again. But the issue though is that will you have enough, will the Seaside Bologna still be there? Because you're still fire. You know, you could miss on her. This damage might not go through on her. I think the people that have Charlotte, like let's say in the hindsight of it, if they put her on a banner, like when this drops and say, hey, Charlotte banner, will she be worth the summon? I don't think so. I still think that she's still fire. And there's too much water threats out here. Who's to say that on first turn Luna just doesn't obliterate her? There's nothing that stops a Luna from just killing her on the first turn. There's nothing to stop any character. Like, they just buffed Melissa, so who's to say Melissa doesn't just snipe her out? Who's to say that she doesn't die to the A Vildred sweep or the double A Vildred S3? You know, yes, the defense buff is there, but the first hit that comes out is gonna hurt. She still has to, you know, she's still built as a DPS unit. She's like supposed to be bruiser, but I just don't see it. I don't think that it's there. I think it will work, but the consistency is what people like to use certain heroes over another hero. Is it consistent enough that you would pick it, like you would want to pick it in a draft? That you would want to put it on your defense. Oh, on defense it'll probably work perfectly. Like I said, if there's no Seaside Bologna, you're just hoping that they have some type of counter, and you'd have to pick counter into it. And yeah, you could attack break a champion Zerato, and then he'll hit you right back every time, but then he's gonna give you attack break right back. So I don't know. I'm not sold. I don't have Charlotte, so I'll be waiting for the videos, and I know that TK is, unfortunately, I don't think he makes videos. He had a really good Charlotte, so it would have been nice to see him. I don't think YDCB has it. I know a few people, I think I heard Damone has one, so I'll be looking out for those videos to see if it's like, oh no, she's overpowered. Because, you know, last time they did a really good change like this, it was Corvus. Corvus was like, I feel like the most blessed unit that when he got his change, it was actually significant and it made an impact, and then they had to nerf him later. But let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna be out. You guys won't see this video till much later, but I hope you guys enjoy anyway. But just remember that every day at the casino is your lucky day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.